Senator McEwen.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Assistant Minister for Social Services, Senator Fifield. I refer the Minister to his government's most recent mid-year economic and fiscal outlook, MAEFO. Can the Minister confirm that the government has cut $11.5 million from the Building Multicultural Communities program because it was not a policy priority? Is the Minister aware that the Greek Orthodox community of Nord is one of the organisations that has had its funding cut and now faces the prospect of footing the bill for community school computers purchased with the support of the program? Can the Minister advise why the good work of this local community organisation is not a policy priority for the government?
The Assistant Minister for Social Services, Senator Fifield.
Thank you, Mr President. The Coalition always has been and always will continue to be a strong supporter of cultural diversity in Australia and of our multicultural communities. At the same time, the government is very committed to reviewing all spending, including the Building Multicultural Communities Grants program. In light of the current state of the federal budget, the government has decided to reduce the scope of this program. Those organisations who applied for funding have now been contacted and informed of the status of their application. The government will ensure that organisations which have already expended funds or entered into contracts will not be left out of pocket. It was revealed at the recent Senate Estimates Committee hearings that the previous government had signed off on these grants on the 5th of August. And colleagues, I'm sure, will be very well aware that that was after the last federal election was called. The grants were used to buy certain things such as coffee machines, jukeboxes and billiard tables. It was also revealed at Senate estimates that the program blew out by approximately $1.3 million. It is prudent, and I know Senator Cormann will back me up in this, for any new government to review all grant spending, and community organisations inquiring about the current status of grants processes are being advised of these processes. There were 241 organisations who will still receive funding under Stream 1, and as at the 21st of February 2014, 11 organisations will still receive funding under Stream 2 or combined Stream 1 and Stream 2 funding. This government makes no apology for being wise and careful stewards of the taxpayer dollar, and we also make no apology for looking very critically at decisions that were taken after the election was called.
Order. Time has expired. Order. Senator McEwen.
Thank you, Mr President. I draw the Minister's attention to the Welcome Centre in Adelaide, an organisation that teaches English to new migrants and is facing a cut as a result of the government's decision. Is the Minister aware that this service is now at risk due to the Coalition's funding cuts? Is teaching English to migrants no longer a policy priority for the Abbott government?
Order. The Minister.
Mr President, I think it was a very cynical thing that the previous government did to sign off on literally hundreds and hundreds of supposed grants after the election had been called. Now, while the caretaker period might formally start—
Senator Fifield, resume your seat, as you are entitled— Order on both sides. Senator Fifield is entitled to be heard in silence. Senator Fifield.
While the caretaker period might formally start at the end of the day, it is very much within the spirit of the caretaker conventions that once an election has been called—
Order. On my right. Senator Cormann. Senator Johnson. Wait a minute, Senator Moore. You haven't got the call yet. Senator Moore.
Mr President, my point of order is on relevance. The specific question relates to issues around funding to the Welcome Centre in Adelaide and teaching of English to migrants. The Minister has 28 seconds.
Order. There's no point of order at this stage. The Minister does have 28 seconds remaining to address the question. The Minister.
I'm strongly of the view that the previous government was acting outside the spirit of the caretaker conventions as received in this country, that what they did in signing off on those particular supposed grants at that time was a cynical political exercise, and they should apologise to those community organisations.
Order. 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 Senator Moore.
Mr President, again relevance. We now have very limited time left, but if we could return to the specific question.
Order. I do draw the minister's attention to the question. You've got 6 seconds remaining, Minister.
Organisations, I would recommend contact the Department of Social Services, and the process will be explained to them, Mr President.
Senator McEwen.
Thank you, Mr President. Given that this cut has put grants to 49 multicultural organisations in South Australia at risk, I ask the minister why isn't it a priority for the coalition to support
Just wait a minute, Senator McEwen. Your own side are interjecting on your question and I cannot hear it. Order. Order. Senator Brandis, I'm waiting to call Senator McEwen. Senator McEwen is entitled to be heard in silence. Order. Senator Ronaldson. Senator McEwen. Order. Senator Cormann. Senator McEwen.
Thank you, Mr President. Given that this cut has put grants to 49 multicultural organisations in South Australia at risk, I ask the minister again, why isn't it a priority for the coalition to support organisations that support—
I will not take that. You interrupted the questions before. I'm giving the questioner the opportunity to ask the question. Senator McEwen.
Thank you,
Senator
Mr President. Why isn't it a priority for the coalition to support organisations that support our multicultural communities?
The Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. Myself, Minister Andrews and Senator Fierravanti-Wells, the three portfolio office holders in social services, all have a deep and profound commitment to our multicultural community. But we also have a deep and profound commitment to be good stewards of the taxpayer's dollar. And we make no apology for recognising that if we make prudent decisions now, if we work towards retiring debt, if we work towards putting the budget back into balance, we will be in a much better position to support organisations such as the ones that the Senator has referred to into the future. We are planning for the long term. That's what we're doing, and we make no apology at all. Mr President, I'd conclude on the fact that the period of time that there is between when an election is called and when the formal caretaker provisions take effect is intended to ensure that the essential business of government can continue, that key decisions to that end can be made, not to be used for political purposes.